Hello and welcome back to Andy's FPL Apprentice. It's a very special team selection video for you today because I've got an important announcement to make. I might be good at FPL again. I'm joined as always by young William. You okay, buddy?
Yeah, good, thank you, sir.
Good. So let's jump straight into it. Not too bad a week for me last week, I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, I'd like to start with my heartfelt congratulations. Finally earned your name on this podcast by getting above me in the league.
Yeah, 102 points last week. I mean, look, there was a bit of luck involved, and also a couple of calls that I made on the wildcard has really come off for me.
Really paid off.
I was gutted when Pope conceded in the last minute to ruin the clean sheet, but then I was like, well, I've benched Trippier and everybody's got Trippier, so at least everybody will lose out. Then I realised that Trippier had been substituted a few minutes earlier, so Trippier got himself a nice clean sheet, and then Soufal didn't play, so Trippier came into my team, so that was an absolute
serendipity.
Yeah, roller coaster of emotions there. But it was a midfield, really. Maddison and Bowen. Maddison I felt good about as a call, and Bowen I was a little unsure of. Like, to be honest, if he'd had a really poor game, I could have transferred him out this week. But I didn't watch the game, but it sounded like he played really well. Obviously got a goal and an assist. 18 points from Maddison and 14 from Bowen. And Captain Haaland, but that's kind of irrelevant because who isn't captain in Haaland, really? Everybody gets the same points for him.
Yeah, absolute insanity not to.
So yeah, it moved me up. I think something like 1.2 million in rank overall, up to 750k. Now it's not quite where I want to be, but it's a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah, I've dropped down to 890 overall, but I had a sort of respectable week, just above average. I also had Trippier and Haaland, Martinelli getting 4 and Salah 5. Was fine. 1 for Cancelo, disappointing. Nothing for Mitrovic, and a potential injury there as well.
Yeah, Mitrovic coming off after 35 minutes is definitely a concern, and nice for him to get a booking before he got taken off. So. Ward sat on the bench as well. I've been advocating never putting Ward in your team because he's been absolutely awful so far this season.
Absolutely, and Sanchez got the round 2, and Ward coming out with 8.
Yeah, he had not a huge amount to do, if I'm honest.
He got the extra bonus point for 3 saves.
I know, but like madness.
At least did 3.
I watched that game and none of the saves were especially difficult. The only argument that I can see is that Maddison was so much better than any other player on the pitch that it's hard to tell who should have got the extra bonus points. Like, Barnes got a great goal, so I presume Barnes got two bonus points. Daka's finish was superb, but he only came on as a sub, so he didn't have a lot of time to do much.
Yeah.
Maddison just absolutely ruled the roost. Like, until he scored, I was annoyed that Maddison was creating so many chances and nobody was putting it away. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Ward's back in consideration as a starter for you.
Yeah, it's a bit too early to tell, but yeah, Leicester might have found a vein of form that make him a viable option. Yeah,
I'll have to see on that one. I'll be honest, I'm not confident. I think going forward they look great and defensively they look poor, but been proved wrong before.
Indeed.
So how are you shaping up for next week then?
Well, with the potential of 2 injuries in my team on top of the still currently there and injured Norsgaard, I've shaped up my team at the moment into a 4-3-3, essentially dropping Gross to the bench and bringing Anderson in. But that's completely with the caveat that both Anderson and Mitrovic are 75% chance of playing. I do have 2 transfers.
And 1.7 million is it in the bench? Sorry, in the
1.7 million
bank.
in the bank, yeah.
In the bench.
In the bench. So I've got a little kitty. We had a whip around. I worked up 1.7 million. So obviously getting rid of Norgard and finally making that move. Firstly, feels like a good use of a transfer. The fact is, he hasn't played for weeks, and I've just had him sat there. I've been looking at possibly Ayew or maybe Trossard as an immediate replacement.
Jordan Ayew. Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Like, I think Crystal Palace's fixtures look great. Jordan Ayew, I would just worry a little bit about how much he's actually going to play.
Oh, do you think he's rotation risk?
Well, I think kind of everybody is really with Crystal Palace. I'd love to get. I like Edouard as an option. I think if you knew which striker was going to start for Crystal Palace, then that'd be great. And like it's just a bit of guesswork otherwise with the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't hate him as a pick, but I'd be worried how often he's actually going to play.
Yeah. So my other view is towards Trossard, who is in recent high form.
Yeah, so Trossard, I really like as a pick. It's easy to say somebody's a great pick, like just after they scored a hat trick, but he spent quite a lot of time playing at left wing back for Brighton under Potter, and kind of played as a second striker basically in the first game under the new manager, and he played really well at left wing back. And it's like under Potter, it doesn't matter so much. Like first game for Chelsea, Sterling played there. Like they don't really play as a wing back anyway. But certainly, I think he'll be getting higher up the pitch, and so I think he's been in really good form. And I think he's a much better option if he's going to play sort of a second striker to Welbeck.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really like that one. The only thing, obviously, you've got 2 transfers, so
Yeah.
you can move the money around a little bit. My key player to bring in would be James Maddison.
Yes.
And the only way I think you could manage to do that is either it's going to be hard to just save you the funds. Like you can do it in the 2 transfers, but you're going to need to save like $1 million somewhere else. Like if you heard that Mitrovic was ruled out, you could potentially downgrade Mitrovic. There are options there. I don't think Solanke's a bad option. Danny Welbeck actually himself, I don't think is a bad option. Or if it was me, I'd possibly consider Pascal Gross or Martinelli as well. You could look at like downgrading someone like Pereira, who plays every week and is going to sit on your bench every week and sort of play when there's emergencies. But yeah, I certainly don't dislike Trossard as a pick. Have you had any thoughts about what you will do if either Anderson or Mitrovic are out?
Not really, because to be honest with you, I think assuming they are fit, I'd probably wildcard them back in when I'm ready in a couple of weeks' time. So I think the replacements I bring in will just be, I'll just look for convenient sort of price and fixture replacements where possible. So no particular names. Have you got any thoughts?
So on my team, I'm basically looking at kind of similar-ish things because obviously I've got Mitrovic as well, so it's an identical problem. Mm-hmm. If I hear that Mitrovic is likely to miss a week or not miss anything, I'm probably going to just bench him for a week. I'm not sure it's worth a transfer on it, mainly because I haven't got the free money that I could upgrade him.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of good options if you spend just a tiny bit more money. I really like the look of, like, obviously there's Ivan Toney, but I really like the look of Callum Wilson, particularly with Isaac's out. And even with Isaac back, I think Callum Wilson will probably still start for Newcastle. On penalties, they're creating loads of chances. He's a great finisher. Right?
Tick, tick, tick.
Yeah, the thing with him is that he's injured a lot of the time, but I think if you get him in when he's fit, particularly for you who's looking to wildcard in a few weeks, seems like a nice little short term pump.
Yeah, does seem like a good shout.
And then, like I say, if I was downgrading, which is what I would have to do because I haven't got even like 0.2 million to upgrade. I'd probably look at Dominic Solanke, but honestly, I don't think Welbeck's a bad pick at all. He seems to be fairly nailed at the moment, and Brighton are scoring a lot of goals. And yeah, Welbeck's not going to get a huge amount of points, but I think for his price point, he's not bad at all. And you can bench him in the occasional week as well. And defensively, yeah, obviously you've got Anderson who's flagged at the moment, but I've got Soufal who started every game week and then as soon as I bring him in got dropped. And I picked him because I thought he was nailed and I wanted a way into the West Ham defence.
Yep.
Because I think their fixture run is looking really good. And sort of generally speaking, they're not too bad a defence anyway. Although this season has been, a bit more mixed.
Less good.
Yeah. So I could just swap somebody like Zuma, who, again, I'm saying a nailed West Ham defender. I thought I knew what that was anyway, but he's 0.1 more expensive than Soufal, and I've got 0.1 on the bench. Funnily enough, Crystal Palace was the other defence that I was looking at getting into. So you've got Gay, who's the most likely starter alongside Anderson. Hasn't picked up a lot of points this season, but you're really just looking at clean sheet points. I think he's trying to get a Crystal Palace defender in for their really good fixture, and like they've got Leeds, Leicester, which is now looking not as easy as it may have once looked like. Yeah. But Wolves at home, Everton away, Crystal Palace at home, West Ham away, Nottingham Forest. That's all before the World Cup. I think there's real potential for clean sheet points there. So yeah, I'd possibly look for just swapping to another Crystal Palace defender if you hear that Anderson's out for a few weeks.
Yep.
And final one is a bit of a left field choice because he's barely played at all this season. But Emerson Royale got sent off in Tottenham's last game. I wonder whether Matt Doherty might possibly be worth a look at 4.6 million. Very cheap. When he got his place last year, he was like such a good attacking fullback for Spurs, and then he was injured at the start of the year, and he's just not won his place back from. Yeah, so he's the one with the biggest ceiling, but the highest risk, I'd say.
Sure.
Like he's playing in the best team out of those, and yeah, the end of last year he was getting so many assist points, but it's risky.
Interesting. I was flowing a few options.
Yeah, so I think I would wait until you get some press conference news and see. Yeah. But
as late as I can, I think, to make any shouts.
But yeah, Trossard I certainly like. But if it was me, James Maddison, when he starts these sort of runs, he is a kind of patchy player. Like he'll be fantastic for 5 weeks and then do nothing for 5 weeks. And if you can get him during the runs, then he'd be my number one pick to bring in. But yeah, Trossard is a good second option, I think. And the most pointless question of the of the week. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's still a part of me that's expecting the drop off.
You can't afford not to have him as captain, though.
No, absolutely not. He seems to still be on the rise.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely insane. Like, he's almost got 100 points.
Yeah.
On his own. It is staggering to me that he's owned by 82% of managers.
And just not 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose there's a lot of people that aren't sort of active managers and don't make changes to their team, and the team just sits there all season. So
Yeah, they didn't have him in from day one.
yeah, maybe that's the 18%, but yeah, madness.
Or just real rebels. If they're going to win it, they're going to do it their own way.
Honestly, I might captain him in game week 12 when Man City have a blank.
when they're not playing.
I just think he'll find a way to get points.
Pop up in someone else's game.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's it for our team selection video ahead of game week 10. Let me know in the comments what you think of our possible changes, what we should be doing, and let me know how you got on in game week 9. Love to hear if there's anyone else in the 100 club. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of that stuff, and we'll see you in another video.